1031 Exchange answers to your questions. Shelby Padgett here with Shelby Padgett Realty, and I work with a lot of investor clients who are curious about how the 1031 exchange programs work. So here are a few answers for commonly asked questions when it comes to 1031 exchanges with your investment property. Before you begin your 1031 exchange journey, be sure you know which route you want to go. There's three, you have to pick one. One is the 3-property rule. You can select up to 3 properties, but you must close on one, and the value can be of any value you'd like. The option number 2 is the 200% rule. This means that the identified properties can be of any amount, so as many properties as you'd like, as long as the total value of those selected properties does not exceed 200% of your sold property value. And then lastly, there's the 95% rule option, where you can go ahead and select as many properties as you'd like of any value, as long as you close on up to 95% or more of those properties within the 180-day period. Your property has to be exchanged for like property. What that means is pretty much any other real estate can be considered like property. You can trade an apartment complex for bare land or a duplex for a commercial space. But what you can't do is qualify your personal residence or a vacation home, as those are oftentimes not qualified for 1031 exchanges. The exchange properties that you're going to use must be identified within 45 days of the relinquished exchange property. This means that they must be identified unambiguously. You can use their legal description or a mailing address, which would suffice. With the identified properties in place, you will have 180 total days for the exchange to fully take place. That means you must fund and record and close on those properties identified. Keep in mind that your replacement property must be in the same exact name or entity as your relinquished property when you go through title. Despite many people wanting to do this, you cannot use exchange funds to pay down an existing mortgage that you have on a property you own. You can, in fact, use your exchange funds to build improvements on your replacement property, but be sure you talk to your title company about special purpose entity process. Reverse exchanges are definitely possible, but a little more complicated. This means you actually purchase the replacement property before selling your current existing investment property. There's a lot more detail that goes into this, and there are usually associated increased fees that come along with this, as well as some risk that can be taken on. So talk to your title company about the likelihood of this being a best route for you. Why is it important to know which title company to choose? A few simple reasons. Did you actually know that you can earn interest on your funds during the 180-day period? Be sure to ask your title company what the return looks like on the interest, if there's a split, and if you get interest at all. Number 2, the fees. There are different fees applied for, say, how many properties you transition those funds into, or if you're doing a reverse type 1031 exchange, those fees can vary company to company. And lastly, make sure you know who regulates those funds for 1031 exchanges in your state. For instance, in Idaho, the State Department of Finance oversees the policies that regulate 1031 exchanges that prevent commingling to take place. That's not the same in every state. So do your homework and check into it with your real estate agent to see who might be best suited for you and your 1031 exchange. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you learned something about 1031 exchanges, as they can be somewhat complicated and confusing for a lot of investors. And if you have any additional questions, shoot me a message, text me, or leave a comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great day. Talk to you later.